A federal judge's ruling clears the way for Tuesday's planned execution of Carey Dean Moore. Now the state gets ready to use the death penalty for the first time in more than 2 decades. And it will be the first time the state will use lethal injection to execute a condemned murderer. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Griswold.
And I'm Craig DeGrelli. Late today, the judge ruled a drug maker's objections are not enough to stop Nebraska from imposing capital punishment. Reporter Alex McClune is live with this breaking news update tonight. Alex.
Well, the German drug maker that filed a lawsuit against the state hoping to get a temporary restraining order that would have stopped Carey Dean Moore's execution, the company didn't get that today. The company says it didn't want its drugs being used in executions and argued that state officials improperly obtained at least one of its drugs. The company believes their reputation was on the line and could have suffered financial losses as a result. The state denies the allegations and says a delay could possibly lead to Moore never being executed, because at least one of the drugs used in that 4-drug cocktail that will be used in the execution expires at the end of the month, and no one will sell any of the state more of the drug. Federal Judge Richard Kopf has made his decision because the state is not disclosing where it got the drugs, so the company can't prove it's theirs, and because of the overwhelming 60% of Nebraskan votes that resurrected the death penalty. Longtime death penalty opponent, State Senator Ernie Chambers, disagrees with the reason for this decision.
Some questions should not be settled by a popular opinion poll. They go to the core of the nature of the judiciary, and I think Judge Kopf, with all due respect, ignored that.
And the judge says he didn't want to frustrate Carey Dean Moore, who's accepted his death on Tuesday for the killings of 2 cab drivers in 1979. We've also reached out to the state, and they have no other comments other than what the judge ruled earlier today. Carey Dean Moore's execution is expected Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Reporting live outside of the federal courthouse in Lincoln, Alex McClune, 3 News Now.
And there is more tonight. The German drug company that brought today's lawsuit said it plans to file an appeal tonight, hoping it will be heard before Tuesday. We caught up with lawyer Mark Christensen after the judge's decision.
We're disappointed in the decision, but we have a lot of respect for Judge Kopf. It's been my privilege to appear before him. We're going to appeal it to the 8th Circuit, see what happens there. We're going to continue to do everything we can to make sure our drugs aren't used in an execution.
The ACLU of Nebraska thanked Fresenius Kabi for its legal challenge, saying this: "It is undeniable that more states are turning away from the death penalty and that Nebraska's death penalty remains broken beyond repair."
Moore's execution will be Nebraska's first one in 21 years. Only 3 people were put to death after the Supreme Court reinstated the death penalty in 1976. Harold Willie Otte in 1994, John Joubert in 1996, and Robert Williams in 1997. All 3 died in the electric chair.
The state corrections director will not have to testify at a public hearing about the state's lethal injection protocol. That's the ruling of a Lancaster County judge. She ruled against the legislature's move to get answers from Scott Frakes after he refused to testify. The Nebraska Attorney General's office called today's ruling a victory for the rule of law and separation of powers.